Okay, so next, what I want to do, I'm going to skip some of these and do my update command. So in my course instructors UI, I have an item towards the bottom for update instructor. And mine just allows me to change the middle initial. So what it does is first I specify an instructor. So I call find instructor, and let me look at find instructor for a second. Yeah. So find instructor is going to take a list, and it starts with the list of all instructors, and it asks me to select an instructor, and then it finds the instructor that matches in the instructor list. So I enter the name, then it finds the matching one, and then it updates it. Right. So when I do that here, what I'm going to want is I'm going to want a function that selects the instructor to update and then gets the new value. And then I'm going to use a post method form in order to send that to the actual update code that's going to make the change to the database. So this thing here, that's going to submit the information to the page that actually does this update here. So first thing I want to do is select the instructor from the list of instructors. And then the next thing I want to do is change the middle initial for that instructor. And the reason I'm going to use post for that instead of get is because in yours, you're going to be updating the password. And think about what get implies. So get, if I go ahead and select the instructor list and I use get here, the thing that I'm passing in appears in clear text in the URL. And that's handy if you want to bookmark it. So for example, here's a bookmark, print instructor list for all instructors. And now if I wanted to go to my bookmarks, do I want to, I think I can go to my bookmarks. Yeah. So here's a bookmark for that, and it works because it has this as part of the URL. But if I had a page that changed the password and the new password appeared here, you wouldn't want to make a bookmark with the password in clear text in the bookmark, because anybody who had access to that bookmark could see my password in clear text. So you don't want to pass the password as part of the URL. You want to pass it actually in the body of the request. And that's what post method does. So that's why I'm going to use a post form, because in your version, when you do this, when you do update the password for an account, I want you to use post method to do that instead of passing the password in as part of the URL. So I hope that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, ask me and I'll try to be clearer about why I'm doing this. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to work backwards again. So I'm going to start at the end. Actually, I'm not going to be able to do much at the end. So bear with me. So this update, so let's start with the update here. So the route is going to be update instructor. And by default, all of these routes respond to GET requests. And if you want to have them respond to POST requests, you have to specify methods equals, and then you can give it a list of methods that it responds to. And so I wanted to do post. So this is going to be coming out of a form in the body of the request instead of in the URL. And then my view method for update instructor, the way we get the value that was submitted from the form is a little different from what we do with get request. So in get request, somewhere up here, actually down here, yeah, we did request.args and then the name of the parameter. For post, we do request.form, which is also a dictionary, and then we do the name of the parameter. And then instructor name is request.form instructor name. And then when I have those two things, I can find the matching instructor and update the middle initial. So here, this thing found the instructor. So it's called find instructor, passed in all instructors. So we're going to do instructor is equal to, actually, where was that? I'm sorry. I had that in course instructors UI, and I think it's just looping through it. Yeah, so it's just looping through and using select item. So I don't need any of that. All I need to do here is duplicate my list. So for instructor in course instructors web UI dot all instructors, if instructor name dot lower is equal to instructor dot get key, then I found the one I want to update. And so the way it does the update here is takes the middle initial and calls the set method and then adds it to the database. So we're going to call the setter for middle initial on the instructor and pass in the middle initial. Then we're going to flush that change to the database. And then we're done. So we're going to return. And then if we got all the way through the list of instructors without finding a matching one, then we're going to return an error. Error couldn't find instructor named instructor name, exclamation point, and my H1 tag. Okay, so we throw an error if that's the case. So now I need a form that's going to submit the middle initial and the instructor name. And I can't really test this until I have that form. There are extensions that you can load for Chrome that will let you mock up a post as if you had a form. Or I could make a static form and put that in there for testing purposes. But I'm just going to go ahead and do the thing before this. So this one is going to be let's call that get instructor name and middle initial for update. That's maybe a little longer than you really want. But on the plus side, it's pretty descriptive. So I'm going to go with it for now. And we're going to go ahead and def that. And all it really needs to do is return render template of that.html. And it needs to pass in the list of all instructors. So instructors is equal to course instructors web UI dot dot all instructors. Okay. And then this thing's too long. So let's go ahead and break it a little bit. Okay. So there's the name of my template. So we're going to make a new template called that. And I think I'm out of time for today, actually, because it's 2:53.